the career, and I'm a 97. I did cheat. Sorry. We're gonna play with the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis, and you want to see my whole team? It is Giannis, me, Eric. You can see my whole team. It's not the best, but still a team. Say that. I'm a 3-point scorer, so let's get into this. We're gonna edit the uniforms. No, sorry. I mean edit the roster, sorry. My point. No, I'm not a center. PG, Eric. Who's a center? We have a 69 as a center. That's smart. That's great. God.
And the player introductions are wrapped up. The starting fives for both.
We are gonna stream every day.
Well, we can finally say it. DA, take it away. Well, you're right, DA. It'll be still. Thanks. A moment now to see how the schedule is working for the Bucks. On Saturday, they'll be facing Hassan Whiteside and the Miami Heat. Then on Monday, they'll take on Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here are the starters for Milwaukee. Bledsoe is out there with Martin. And then there's Antetokounmpo. Then there's Malcolm Brogdon. And it's Udoh in at the center. And for Houston, all at the point and Harden to his side. The star-studded backcourt. Clint Capella is out there with Poitras. And it's House in at the 3 spot. Now here is Martin. Harden missing his last shot. 6 to shoot. A 3 ball.
3.
It's not gonna go for him. Rockets on offense. This game against Milwaukee here. It's their first look to start the season.
Yeah, it's a bit of a revenge game for them. They were swept in the 2-game season series from last year.
And this one of the few opponents.
Oh,
really
come on. That should be a foul.
It was an otherwise excellent season for them. You're right. They've got to have revenge on their minds tonight.
He can't get that one. Giannis with some nice D. Martin against Paul. Takes a 3.
Why am I so bad at threes when I'm a 3-point scorer?
3 from the field to start the game. Here's House. Good, and Paul gets the assist. House has got the first basket of the game for Houston. And Bill, we've seen more and more teams base their offenses around 3-point shooters. Threes are at an all-time high. We know that. Should the NBA, that in mind, do anything to address this via any rule change? Which I don't know what that would mean, but it is.
I don't like changing. I think it's going to manifest itself with it doesn't work in the playoffs as well. And teams are going to slowly realize like that you need to blend an inside-outside game at least a little bit.
Well, you can't lose what the team is. No, it's bigs and smalls, it's inside, it's outside.
And it's still passing and unselfishness. The Warriors take a lot of threes, but they're the most unselfish team we have. And they create a lot of layups and they play, you know, they're really creative. And you just can't, that just can't be your thing is we shoot 53s, here's our offense. The problem is you're still going to get in these games where 2 points really matters, you know, and that's what you saw with Kawhi in the playoffs last year. These games slow down, it's going to be a 92 to 89 ending, and your team needs to get 10 baskets in the 4th quarter, no matter how you're going to get them. You still need somebody who can do that too.
And the Rockets building their offense around the 3 ball. What will that approach look like if they ever want to make a championship run? There's got to be more to it than just the 3-point shot.
You would think. They've been playing the math, and the math says volume of threes and percentages, and eventually it's going to come in your favor.
You believe that's the way to do it?
I think it's the way to succeed during the regular season. We saw it with Toronto, especially in the Toronto-Milwaukee series. Toronto was playing those same averages, and then Dan Vliet got hot, and a couple of guys started making threes, and all of a sudden they win that series. So that's a case of it did work. But I still think you need You need to know what you're doing when everything slows down. We saw the Rockets 2 years in a row, like famously when they missed 27 threes. Those threes get a lot tougher when it's a game 7, you're tired, the other team's used to you, and the nerves are coming in, and that basket's suddenly looking a little smaller. What's your plan B?
Here is Harden after the basket by Milwaukee. Here's Paul. It's good. He scores. That's his first basket after missing his first 2 attempts. Now 1 for 3.
And for an undersized player, Chris Paul's a pretty good finisher around the rim. Certainly knows all the angles.
Now here is Martin. He has 5. They get it back. Udo, and there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time.
That's a testament to the effort there on the boards.
Okay, come
Never
on.
willing to give up on the possession, finding ways to sniff out the ball.
And Houston calls their first time out of the game.
Trying to snap them out of this little slump.
Well, they can't find the net right now, and all they need, I think, is just to get one to go, get back on track.
Houston, a whole new 5 on the floor. Bill, you look at the awards given out by the league. Most have been around for a while. But is there any award that you'd like to add? Something that's not being touched on in terms of high performance and success?
I think that there should be a playoff MVP. I made this case in my book
It's
that
a great idea.
there's always like a best guy in every postseason, and I would like to see who that would be. And it's pretty easy to go backwards and figure out who it was. I did that. Just go backwards and have all the backstory of who it should have been, but then going forward, now here are the ones you're adding. I would like to see that. I would also like to see a best bench celebration award, because certain teams just have these guys. They're good at pointing. They're good at fist pumping. First guy during the timeout running over.
Chest bumps.
They have handshakes.
All of it, yeah.
They're waiting at the scorer's table before the game to do the special handshake with each guy. I feel like that guy deserves some shine. Last year, DeAndre Jordan, I think, was one of the first guys I remember who was just great at this before he started playing. Late 2000s Clips. I was like, man, this guy's really, he's not playing, but he's really
into
figuring
it.
out how to affect the game.
Good. 59 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Here's Temple. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Right, the pass to Gordon. The tray. It's hauled in by Ilyasova.
They hold the early advantage on the glass.
Knocked away. Connaughton kicks to Wilson. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. Here's Wright. There's 31 seconds left to play here in the first. They get the rebound. Gordon deciding where to go. And he's going to get whistled for that foul. Gee, that was intentional, not exactly logical.
How about pointless to foul there? I mean, I don't know where his head is, but it's not in the game.
Now here's Gordon. From deep three-point range. Oh, he got it!
Are you kidding me, Kevin, from there?
How in the world did it go
Did
in?
you even see the basket?
I love that.
Oh, man.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game.
And coaches looking to seize every advantage, maximize every possession.
Got to feel good as a coach if you make all those adjustments, pull the right strings. That's what they love to do.
Outside, Martin. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession.
Woo! I'm going.
With 1 on the clock, that shot off. And that does it for the first quarter. Rockets on top. They're up by 5. We'll be back shortly live from Houston, Texas. Chris Paul, an elite defensive player, a student of the game
The steals thing is just something that I've always had.
Well, you hear about the importance of watching film, Greg. It reveals itself in many ways.
And learning guys' habits. What they like to do gives them a knack for when to go after steals without hurting his team.
And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter of action so far. And when you consider how the Rockets are doing, guys, what are your thoughts?
Just cashing in on second chance opportunities. That's how they built this early lead.
Working the offensive glass that sometimes comes from predictable shots from your offense, and they've been opportunistic here.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. Setting the floor for the Bucks. Ilyasova out there with Malcolm Brogdon. Then there's Bledsoe. And then there's Antetokounmpo. And it's Martin in at the point guard. Bill, you study pop culture. The 2K esports league is a phenomenon right now, which is sweeping the country. Do you think that's going to alter the perception of gaming in any way?
Yeah, I would say it has one of the best chances of any esports league to succeed.
How many points do we have?
Because people just love basketball. And you can feel it there in the offseason. The shift in basketball content and the fact that it's now 12 months a year sport for us. Now it goes from playoffs to the draft to where people going in free agency. And then that plays out for a month. And then something else will happen. All of a sudden it's August.
Summer leagues are
summer
coming
leagues
up.
happening. And then all of a sudden the season's close. And then you just kind of recycle. And it's a 12-month-a-year sport.
Yeah, right. Catching up on the changes for Houston. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Chandler. Poitras comes in for P.J. Tucker. Daniel House is checked in for Garrett Temple. And James Harden subbed in for Eric Gordon. Now here is Martin. He's got 11. Passes it to Antetokounmpo. Now the feed to Udo. And there's the whistle.
I can't
Second
move.
violation.
Taking a look at some stats for Malcolm Brogdon. Good season for him last year. He put up about 15 points a game last season, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. And he's done his share of the work for the team, definitely making an impact.
Well, the numbers, if you look at them, impressive all the way around, and he's not letting the team down.
Here's the list of players who had the most steals in the NBA last season. James Harden is second. Third is Chris Paul.
And with all the steals these two came away with, they probably put a thought in the back of every opponent's head, and it wasn't a very good thought.
Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Well, guys, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the reigning MVP. He's the second Bucks player to win it since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he's the third youngest MVP in league history. Kevin, he's just scratching the surface of what he'll do in this league.
You said it, D.A., and some good facts in your report, too. Thank you. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, you know, Bill, 3 seasons ago, passing Kareem for most triple-doubles in Bucks history.
The Bucks to get Kareem and Giannis even in a 40-year span is pretty great. Giannis has a chance to be like one of the best 30 players ever.
You're impressed. You like him, don't you?
I think athletically he's unparalleled. It's really like for people I've seen in person, LeBron, Westbrook, Giannis, there's just certain guys that have a different level of athleticism that you're kind of like, these are humans, right? And he's one of those guys.
And Brogdon has got the ball here for the Bucks. They trail by 7. They'll be playing host to Miami for the next game. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. How's the pass to Paul? Count it. Paul's got 5 points.
We're gonna stop streaming and we're gonna play. I'm gonna play Fortnite.